Recently, the 100th anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic was remembered around the world. But how many people around today do you know were actually alive when that event took place? Probably not many. Same goes for knowing anyone alive who was around when Teddy Roosevelt was president. How about when the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts were formed in the United States? Or when the Indianapolis 500 was first run? Or the Model T Ford first hit the market? Or how about when Abraham Lincoln's portrait first appeared on the penny? All those events took place over 100 years ago, and sadly, there aren't too many left alive today who were when they actually occurred. But take a moment to think about the changes someone 100 years or more old has seen in this country and world of ours. Someone of that age would have been around during the First World War, as well as Prohibition, the Great Depression, World War II, the Korean and Vietnam Wars, as well as the more recent Iraq and Afghanistan conflicts. A person 100 years old would have seen the growth of the automobile industry, as well as the aviation industry. The inventions of radio, and later television took place. Movies got sound and color. And newspapers began to be read on computers or tablets. He or she saw healthcare get significantly better with the creation of antibiotics, artificial hearts, and other life-saving measures. Telephones went from being on the wall or the desk to in our pockets. And where would we be without the creation of frozen foods and the supermarkets we buy them in? And the list of things someone 100 years old or more has been witness to just goes on and on and on. We mention this because, as a regular viewer of MetroCasting, you've already met someone that age. Estelle Rupp of Nescapec, who is now 104 years old. You met her briefly through our MetroCasting episode about the Nescapec High School reunion. And when we heard about a special event being held in her honor, we felt it was a good time to learn more about Estelle's life and her family. Since our last visit 6 months ago, Estelle has been going strong and enjoying life among family and friends. As she prepares to turn 105 this coming summer, Estelle was honored recently by her other family, her church family, for being a member of the First United Church of Christ in Nescapec for 100 years. And as you know, being around for 100 years of anything is truly something to be celebrated. What do you think about this church?
I come when I was 5 years old, then I'll be 105. So, and I'm glad. I love my church. I come every Sunday because I don't like to miss. And my brother had what we called a 52 club for everybody that went every Sunday. And then he'd give us dinners different times through the year to celebrate.
As her daughter further explained, the 52 Club was an incentive to get parishioners to attend Sunday worship, 52 being the number of weeks in a year. It seems Estella, her brother, and others at the church will be recognized for perfect attendance. How many times did you have that perfect attendance?
Me?
Yeah.
She had 19 years of perfect attendance. There's a seal down there from church that she got. 19 years. I don't know. She may have more, but I don't have.
They stopped counting.
She knows all about me.
Her is Estelle's oldest daughter, Jane Okaneski. As Estelle's hearing is not what it used to be, Jane helped us out with our questions and even added to the answers, as was the case when we asked if Estelle knew anyone as a child who had actually fought in the Civil War.
I had wasn't my dad in it? No.
Smith.
No.
The one that was Smith, his son wasn't he?
Who?
Smith. His son that was a Smith was in it.
Yeah.
Her father was married 3 times, and she's from the 3rd family. And one of her half-brothers or step-brothers, whichever, was one of those that was in the Civil War. But he went in the war and lied about his age because he was too young. And then he never came back home, he made another home with another family.
Jane is one of 3 children Estelle raised all by herself.
Lovebugs.
Right here
1,
we
2,
are.
and 3.
Lovebugs, and they're all...
I had a boy in the sun, or in the middle.
So how were your kids? Are you proud of them?
I had all good ones.
He said, were you proud of us?
Oh, proud of them,
No, I actually
yeah.
like that first one.
But I said I had all good ones.
Those good ones include Jane, the oldest, Richard, the middle kid, and Mildred, the youngest, or the brat, as she calls herself. All 3 are now in their 80s, and all 3 were on hand for the celebration. They each recalled for us what it was like to grow up under the love and guidance of the woman they now call the original single mother. You said you didn't have a telephone until 1951?
No. And we had, like one electric light bulb in the ceiling. No, nothing fancy. Outside plumbing, We didn't have any of the nice things in life now. I think that's why she enjoyed this so much now.
Tell me about your mom.
Best one ever.
How so?
She raised 3 kids, mostly by herself. She didn't have all these things given to her by the government. She went out and worked. She walked to work all the way over to where Wise Plant is, and walked home a lot of time, then come home and did the work at home some of it. She was busy. That's what kept her going, I think.
She was a wonderful mother, but she worked. And my grandmother took care of us, so we had good care while she was at work.
She just worked all the time. I used to go over to the top of Brick Hill, ride my bicycle over, and then walk home with her at night when she came from the silk mill, right? She'd walk up to the top of Brick Hill, and I'd meet her there and walk home with her, so she had company.
Estelle, as it appears, had many jobs over the years, including at a silk mill, but she was also a welder during the World War II years, and later did housework for a Berwick family for over 50 years.
I worked for the Lanning family for 46 years.
53 years.
Huh?
53 years.
Was it 53? Ooh.
Were they nice people?
Oh, yeah. And they're still good to me.
Grandchildren, they treat her like their grandmother.
After working for the Lannings for more than 50 years, Estelle finally retired when she was 96. And it's that steady work over the years that she attributes to her longevity.
I guess it's because I worked. I didn't sit. I worked till, like I say, till I was 96 when I retired, wasn't I? So that's why I'm here.
Now, her kids will also tell you that her daily diet of chips or chocolate might have helped.
She ate a lot of potato chips, too.
Working at Wise, I think you would.
Yeah, the people in the church used to bring her big bags of chips and stuff. And peanuts and potato chips. Now it's Hershey's Kisses. She's changing now. Chocolate. And when you go in there, she's always handing you chocolate. As soon as you get in the door, she wants you to eat some too.
Potato chips, peanuts, and Hershey Kisses.
I used to eat peanuts, but I eat Hershey Kisses anymore. And they don't show up in my blood work because the doctor given me blood work and they didn't show up. And the nurse said to me, now you can eat your kisses. I said, well, I never stopped.
What made you laugh about your mom?
Well, for a good many years, we didn't have much to laugh about, did we? We didn't have too much to laugh about when we were kids.
But I laughed all the time when I was a kid.
Oh.
And then one time we had a play at church, and I got the kids to laugh, and then we couldn't have it. And that was before Morse went, because if He'd have went then. I wouldn't be here today.
You wouldn't be laughing. My uncle was very strict, and everything had to be just, to the letter of the law. We didn't do too much horsing around when he was, and he lived with us, so we didn't have too much to laugh about then. It was mostly all work.
These days, Estelle lives with her grandson and his wife.
About 3 years ago, she was living with her daughter, but she was getting bad. Her health was failing, and they couldn't be alone anymore. So they were going to have to put her in a home or find somewhere else for her to live. And so my wife, Linda, suggested that we bring her to live with us. So we went up and asked her. Well, we went up and I asked her if she would want to come live with us, and she said she'd try it. So we've been trying it for 3 years now.
And for the most part, David says his grandmother is a joy to have around.
She's a joy to be around. She's not any trouble to take care of, let's put it that way, but she doesn't want to eat. She doesn't want to eat anything except chocolate, pretty much. That's her staple food right now. But we do get her eat some meals with us, she always sits down with us and eats, but she won't eat much, very little. It's always too much, but as soon as she gets away from the table, then she can eat lots of chocolate. She laughs a lot. They say that's a big thing with your health, to keep you healthy for longevity now. Laugh every day, and believe me, she does.
She did say that her religion and coming to church was a big deal.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Her brother was really big on that. Uncle Morris, he was 99 when he died, and he had perfect attendance at church for 70 years. And he was there every day. He didn't miss church. He wasn't sick and said he was there. He was there. So that was a big thing in their family. That was perfect attendance. In fact, on one of those pictures back there, it has a family portrait. And it has, we all had perfect attendance. Uncle Morris wrote that on there because that was his thing, He was really big on being in church every Sunday. And I understand when they were young, when my father and his sisters were young, they went to church, 2 different churches every Sunday. They went here, and then they went down to the Free Methodist Church down on Warren Street. So I guess it was a big thing if that's the case,
And when she's not in church, Estella keeps busy doing other things.
She crochets, and she does word puzzles, and she's made crocheted bedspreads and afghans and doilies galore. I have plastic cases full of doilies and things, and she never sold anything. She's gave bedspreads to all of her children, grandchildren, and lots of friends. She never would sell anything, just give it away. She really, when she crochets, she wouldn't read the instructions in a book or anything. She would look at the pictures and just do it by looking at a picture.
An amazing woman who has done a lot and seen a lot over her years, including a multitude of changes in the way people live today versus the way they did when she was younger.
Oh, they're fancy looking now compared to what they was in them days.
How so?
And they seem to look older than they do today.
In closing, we'll let Estelle's 3 children have the final words about their mom.
I had a good childhood because of my mother. She always had you laughing.
Which is good.
She made life good.
For the most part, she's been really healthy. She's really been blessed with good health, and I think that the Lord has blessed her these later years because of the kind of person she was.
She always made time for us.
And the grandchildren.
And I remember when we used to go to school, and if she would go to a play or something, you'd hear her laughing out there more than anybody else. That's the way she was. She was a laugher. I love my mother. I think we all do.